Moving up the ranks to method 2, the mirror reversal. This one's rooted in ancient rhetoric but supercharged for modern mind games. The most people sabotage their arguments right from the opening words, handing victory to the other side without even realizing it. I've dissected countless debates, endured humiliating losses in heated discussions for years, and finally unlocked the blueprint to dominance. These 5 elite strategies will arm you to win any argument, even when the facts aren't fully on your side. And get this, the true champions aren't the ones with ironclad logic. They're the masters of subtle influence. I used to stumble out of arguments fuming, replaying brilliant retorts in my head long after the moment passed. Does that ring a bell? But then I uncovered a game changer. Winning debates isn't solely about truth. It's about wielding psychology like a weapon. Today, I'm unveiling these 5 proven tactics, ranked from solid to supreme, so you'll master exactly when and how to deploy them for maximum impact. Let's dive into the first method, the deflection shield. Imagine this. Someone launches a direct assault on your position, calling it flawed or outright dumb. The knee-jerk reaction is to counterattack, escalating into a shouting match where emotions overrun reason. But here's the counterintuitive power move: deflect, by acknowledging a sliver of their point while pivoting to your advantage. For instance, if a colleague blasts your project idea as impractical, don't deny it outright. Respond with, "I see where you're coming from on the timeline concerns, but let's zoom in on the cost savings that outweigh those risks." This isn't surrender, it's strategic redirection. By validating a minor aspect, you disarm their aggression, making them feel heard and less combative. Psychologically, it exploits the reciprocity principle. People are wired to mirror concessions, opening them up to your counterpoints. In real life, I once used this in a family debate over vacation plans. My sister insisted a beach trip was too expensive. I agreed on the flight costs, but deflected to the long-term relaxation benefits and cheaper alternatives I'd researched. She softened immediately, and we compromised on my terms. The life hack here? Practice this in low-stakes chats like casual friend discussions to build reflexes. Always pair your deflection with a question. What do you think about this angle? It shifts the burden back, keeping you in control. This method ranks first because it's accessible yet transformative, turning potential clashes into collaborative wins. But stick around. Things get even spicier with tactics that trap opponents in their own words. Myth many fall for is that bluntly stating "you're wrong" flips the script in your favor. It doesn't. It just fortifies defenses. Instead, mirror their argument back at them with a twist that exposes inconsistencies. Start by paraphrasing their view neutrally, then reverse it to highlight flaws. Say a friend argues that social media is harmless fun. Mirror it. "So you're saying endless scrolling boosts productivity without any downsides?" Then reverse. "But if that's true, why do studies show it spikes anxiety levels by 30%? This forces self-reflection without direct confrontation. The beauty lies in cognitive dissonance. When people hear their ideas echoed back distorted, their brains scramble to resolve the gap, often conceding ground. I deployed this in a work meeting when my boss dismissed remote work as unproductive. I mirrored, "You believe office presence guarantees focus," then reversed with data on higher output from flexible setups. He paused, reconsidered, and we piloted a hybrid model. Life hack. Prep mirrors in advance for common debates by jotting down potential reversals. Use body language. Lean in slightly to show engagement, not aggression. This elevates over the first method because it actively weakens their stance, not just deflects. And just wait. I'll soon reveal a word wizardry that makes your points irresistible. Now, escalating to method 3, the persuasion prism. Words aren't just tools, they're prisms that refract reality to your benefit. A common mistake is using absolute terms like always or never, which invite easy rebuttals. Swap them for nuanced phrasing that builds alliances. For example, replace "you're completely mistaken" with I see it differently based on this evidence. This softens blows while positioning you as thoughtful. Incorporate power words like imagine, discover, or unlock to paint vivid pictures. In a debate over diet choices, don't say veganism is superior. Prism it. Imagine unlocking more energy through plant-based options. Studies show it reduces inflammation. This draws them into your narrative. From sales pitches to political talks, this works because language shapes perception. Subtle shifts make opposition feel like agreement. Personally, during a heated political discussion at a dinner party, I prismed a friend. His extreme view on taxes. Discover how balanced rates could fuel innovation without overburdening anyone. It diffused tension, and we found common ground. Life hack: build a word bank of prisms, synonyms for conflict words, and test them in emails first. Add pauses after key phrases for emphasis. This method outshines the previous by proactively shaping the conversation's flow, making you the director. But hold on, the next one overwhelms with sheer force, and later I'll drop the bombshell that ends debates instantly. Climbing higher to method 4, the evidence avalanche. When facts falter or you're skating on thin ice, bury them under an avalanche of supporting details, real or perceived, to overload their processing. The error most commit is sparse evidence, leaving room for counters. Instead, cascade multiple angles rapidly. Facing skepticism on a business strategy? Avalanche. Consider the 15% growth in similar markets, the expert endorsements from Forbes analysts, the projected ROI of 2.1, and the risk mitigation from diversified channels. Their mind reels, unable to tackle all fronts, often leading to concession. This taps into information overload psychology. Humans default to deference when outpaced. In a negotiation for a raise, I avalanche my boss with performance metrics, peer comparisons, industry benchmarks, and future value projections. Overwhelmed, he approved without deep scrutiny. Life hack: curate avalanche kits for frequent topics. Bullet point facts on your phone for quick recall. Deliver with confidence, varying tone to maintain engagement. This surpasses prior methods by shifting from defense to offensive dominance, especially when right is subjective. And stay tuned, the pinnacle awaits with a twist that flips everything. Finally, the supreme method 5, the shadow puppet. This is the dark art of winning even when wrong, puppeteering perceptions through misdirection and planted doubts. Bust the myth that honesty always prevails. Sometimes subtle shadows cast longer than facts. Plant seeds of doubt indirectly. Interesting perspective, but what if there's more to the story? Then shadow with alternatives that undermine without lying outright. In a dispute over historical facts, shadow. Many sources align with that, yet emerging research suggests biases in those accounts. Have you seen the counter-evidence? It creates uncertainty, making your version seem plausible. Derived from illusionist tactics, it exploits confirmation bias. People cling to doubts that favor them, but you seed them first. I used this in a debate with a skeptic on climate action, shadowed their denial with, "What if the data gaps hide bigger risks?" Supported by vague but intriguing studies, they wavered. Life hack: master neutral tone to avoid detection. Practice with role plays. This crowns the list because it wins regardless of truth, combining all prior elements for ultimate control. As we peak, here's the shocking twist. True victory in arguments isn't about being right or wrong, it's about hijacking emotional control. Studies show 90% of debates are decided by feelings, not facts. Master that, and you're invincible. This prepares us for the grand reveal. Wrapping up, you've now got the arsenal I promised. The 5 tactics to conquer any argument, even from shaky ground. Combine them fluidly. Deflect to open, mirror to probe, prism to persuade, avalanche to overpower, and shadow to seal. Practice in daily skirmishes and watch your influence soar. But the real secret? Adapt ruthlessly. Read cues, switch gears. Which tactic flipped your view on debates? Share a story of your toughest argument in the comments. If you're done losing battles, hit like and subscribe. 90% argue wrong. Don't be them.